So apparently, what are we doing here? Close that. Yo, Adrian, what's going on? All right, so a lot of people with opinions out there. In here, out there, and everywhere. People feel the need to share them. I don't know if I need to share them, but whatever it is. But anyway, yeah, pretty much sticking with the Joe Pass idea that there's just a major, minor, dominant. In order to take that to its extreme, of course, every major scale has its comparable minors. So that's kind of an easy enough thing. And a minor chord, let's say a minor seventh chord, so if you were going to do a minor major triad, right? But if you started on the third, why, that's an E minor. So E minor, C major. Then, when you look at that E minor, well, that looks just like an A sus, right? And then A7 sus, A7. The A7 is the 5 of what? D major or D something. So they're everywhere. They're just everywhere. Those 2 5 1s. Of course, D major is not the key. C major. Same thing, but it won't be the same chord. So you could say the 2 of that is some sort of a D minor something. D minor 9, 11, 7. we'll see. D minor 7, G7. Seems like a lot of movement though, but you could also go D. Here's a D minor 7. Third in the bass, of course. Minor third in the bass. And there's our G7 only. It's in the Girl from Ipanema kind of 7. 7, 3, 5, 1. So you almost have no movement. It doesn't sound too good, but we could drag in the 2. But that's just from one position, right? So, well, here's another position, right? Well, there's our 2. Wrong, so where's 2 is? I always hate that voice though, unless it's a strict blues. So we can even go up here. So D minor 7 again is can scale around based on what's those basic fingerings are. So you can kind of up here somewhere in the Dorian fingerings, you know. But you don't have to, say, oh, I'm in Dorian. Play modal, that's just a regular 2 chord. I was going to talk more about this. The D minor is really a suspect, because if you move that down, that becomes the 3rd of the 5, and then the 7th of the. So the sus4 moves to become the 7. So whatever chord works over or whatever notes work over the 2, as long as that interval is to the 3 of the 5. And that's just noodling. But if I were here to think about it, I need a D minor 7 here, don't I? Where's my D? D's right here. D minor. For 7 is going to be this one. So what is going to suffice for D minor 7 here is a D minor. See, I never liked that as a go-to grip there. find them anywhere. Even up here, there's going to be a D something. So, D minor 7. There's a D minor 7. So a lot of those backdoor turnarounds. The backdoor turnaround is very much like the 2 minor 7 flat 5, which is the 2 in a minor chord situation. So you could sort of borrow that. But you're using it as the 5, so it's not really a 2. But you're taking advantage of the fact it's a dominant. So it's A flat dominant, or B flat dominant, which is the backdoor dominant to the C major 7. got a flat 7. What the fuck is this now? So, anyway, here is your typical G position, your A minor position, i.e. your 6. It's not really your C position, it's a B position. There's 7 flat 5. Minor major 7. Oh, anyways, damn this fucking nose. I can't seem to talk without breathing. Breathing seems to require lubrication. Who knew? 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. Woo. Smash those strings into the table. Oh, yeah, so. Good old fake Hendrix there. How do I keep getting notifications? Oh man. Where's my glasses? See, this is the other part about this. I did have my eyes fixed, but of course I can't see near anymore. Which used to be the only thing I could see was near. So I need the nearsighted glasses, i.e. the readers. Let's see what the hell's going on here. Oh, look, Cock Dillon with Donnie Iris. Alright, so there's Greg Koch at the Pure Rock Shop. I have a new message. Oh. Well, you know what? I don't really want any new messages right now because I'm in the middle of something. Minor 7th. 7 is a suspension of the dominant. In this case, this traditional grip for a minor 7th, the 7 here. So, I want to say there's a minor 17. So, a D, way the hell up here. C, which is a 7. D is a 1. Here's another D. We could do a minor 3rd there. Well, we gotta remember a minor 7 is the same as a major 6, and a major 6 is the same as minor 7, right? So major 6 might show up here. So there's your D, here's your 7, here's your minor, here's your 5, and that's the grip I always forget. It's like, you know, you're in your first position. With the 3rd, the E is the lowest note without shifting. So you can put a major 6 grip it's an odd position because you would normally think that this is an F6. So you'd think, oh, I'm in the 4 chord. F is really, F6 is really a D minor 7. But I never think of F leg grips or F6 grips. You know, when I'm sitting here, I don't think, oh, that's an F6. You know. Although I do think of that as an F7. Because I can't see from that far away. No, I can't see. And, of course, now I can't see my fretboard. Not that I need to. Anyway, yeah. F6. And that would get you back. So here's a C6. Which is also a minor 7. That's an A minor 7, but it is also a C6. 1, 5, 1, 5, 6, and 7. That didn't work. Why doesn't that work? Why did I get my intervals wrong? Here is a C, A minor 7, A minor 7. But here's the C5. So that's the 6. Play those pretty chords. Somebody's gotta. that's just me sitting there fiddling around. I do like to just move single voices to see where they go. But that's just kind of your voice leading, trying to train your ear. I'm trying to remember these because that's a C, that's a D. So I never, ever think of those as related chords. So A minor 7. See, that just doesn't feel like a minor 7, does it? Because I'm going to want to go. That's what I got to think of. That's the minor shape. Oh, we're gonna have to finally tune this thing after. Of course, do I need my glasses on for that to see that? Probably. Oh, I need my glasses on. I don't know really if I'm that far off, but I think I'm far enough off. Far enough off. That's weird. Well, let's have a visit to old Patreon. See if Mr. Drade dropped anything over there. Because that will determine what I do for the rest of today. What do we got here? One notification. Who is this notification from? Movement Monday. Let's all start our week right with super slick move I stole from Pasquale Grasso. This is great for a 2-5 when you need to fill up some space if you're playing alone. Grief. I can't read anything at computer distance. Grr. Really? And who's this guy? There's old Drade checking in from the road. We already saw that. And if we go to the YouTubes, let's see if there's anything to watch before supper time. Oh, there's me, chord fumbling. We got a notification. Who's that from? Okay. Paul Gilbert, technical difficulties from 425 in Cincinnati. Hardest part, totally useless. Bud Powell's piano intro to ornithology. Oh boy, look at all these live people. Which gun is worse to hear behind you? Any gun. Top Princeton scientist told me people are building AI can't fully explain what it does. Imagine that. Okay, nothing here on YouTube. I'm going to back up a trailer. Sherry Lewis? That's Lamb Chops Girl? What year is that? Oh, I can't even recognize it. Yeah, YouTube's one hell of a, what you would call a rabbit hole. Linear algebra versus calculus. There's not really a versus there. Who is Harlan Ellison? Never heard of him, but he's got a solution. He's got a solution for something. Looks like Palestine and Israel. It's to call them both Palestinians. And for the ones who want to be Muslims, they can be Palestinian Muslims, and for the ones who want to be Jewish, they can be Palestinian Jews. The state can be called Palestine, ruled by normal democratic principles of populations and representation. Partially geographic. Seems reasonable to me, but since I'm a white guy, if it seems reasonable to me, it's the wrong answer, so I will never suggest that. That's a weird sound. Okay, the other one was, you're gonna go to 2-5-1. So instead of the G, you can go to the D flat. You can go to so everybody knows that's a D flat there, but the thing about the D flat, flat 5, 7, we got the 3. The 3s and 7s, so I swap positions there, so. And the root of the D flat is just a flat 5. Sharp 11. But you wouldn't play that sharp 11 or flat 5 chord. So if you went sounds weird. So, flat 5, sharp 5 on a regular 2-5. Sharp 5 could be squeezed into that. Flat 5, sharp 11, nah. But the sharp 9, flat 9 of the D flat line up fine with the 6 and the 5 and the G7, so all that stuff works better. Seems better to go. The trick is to get something that sounds good how those jazz guys did it, because not really that apparent to me. So here's a 2. Right? There's a 6 chord. Now that should be a minor 7th, right? The 6th is the root for the minor 7th. It's just weird. I can at least read the titles without my glasses on the sheet music. You can see some of the see, I should be able to. So I can play in C in any of those wonderful positions. But if I were thinking, I would always know where my D's are. Here's one. So I could break into it too. 7-5-1 right there. And then I could think here. Now I should be able to think about this quick enough, but I can't. The other cheater trick that I use is like, there'll be normal scales. And they'll have a half step in them between the, the 3 and the 4 and the 7 and the 8, or the 7 and the 1. So on those ones, so here's a between a 7 and 8, so I can just go. Which works nicely. The other one is up here. So if I don't really know where any of the, like the altered scale is or any of that, so I don't want to think too much. Start with a normal, or it's not really any hard and fast rules, but as often as not, let's say it sounds good enough so that when I'm rambling, don't sound like any particular scales or pitch collections. They're just, if you've got one half step, you can go to the next step and do a half step. and twiddle around that way. So twiddling with half steps. Is anybody ever gonna just accidentally stumble on this video by chance? Anybody by chance? No chance. Nope. Like a big stretch like that, which they used to do all the time. So I'm in F sharp for good's sakes. Be looking for some food for dinner. that's more practicing than I've done for the last 3 weeks, so enough is enough.